Casey. Welcome to my channel. I am a CPST, and today I want to talk to you about the Nuna Rava. I love this seat. I bought this seat personally for my own personal use with my 2-year-old when he grew out of his infant car seat into the convertible size. So I decided to go with the Nuna Rava because it has an extremely simple and easy installation using the vehicle seat belt, which, in case you don't know, latch, which is the lower anchors and tethers for children, has a weight limit, and that weight limit can vary depending on the manufacturer of the car seat. It also can vary depending on the manufacturer of the vehicle. So you need to make sure that you read the user manual for both the child restraint that you choose and for the vehicle in which you drive. Because whichever weight is lower, you're gonna go with that weight. So Nuna's preferred installation for their seat, this seat in particular, I don't have any of the other seats, and I have not read through the manuals for the other seats, so I can't say. But based on this seat in particular, I would say Nuna's preferred installation for their seats is a seat belt installation, because seat belts do not have a weight limit like the latch system does. So that's just one thing you want to keep in mind when you're installing your seat. Now, this seat's latch weight goes up to 40 pounds if the child is forward facing. Now, if they're rear facing, you can only go up to 35 pounds using a latch installation. And that's so long as the vehicle that you drive, that latch limit meets or exceeds what this child restraint latch limits are. Now, not all car seat manuals or vehicle manuals will list the latch limits. So if you cannot find these in your owner's manual or your child restraint manual, then please get in contact with a CPST and ask them. CPSTs, a lot of us have what is called the latch manual, and in it, it lists all of the limits for vehicles and child restraints, along with vehicles where you can latch install them in each model. This is the Nuna Rava. This particular one is a Nordstrom Exclusive. I just got this one because it was the pattern I liked the most. And I can't remember what it's called right now, but I can insert that information below. I absolutely love the seat. It has a 50-pound weight limit rear facing and a 65-pound weight limit forward facing. Height limit is 49 inches. So you can use this for quite a while. When I chose this seat, I was going between this seat and the Britax Click Tight seat, the Advocate. And I ended up choosing this one because it had a higher weight limit for rear facing. Also, the fabric is a little bit plusher and is machine washable. Britax fabrics, all that I know of, I can't speak for their new Nanotex. I haven't looked into that a whole lot, but their fabrics for Britax, you have to hand wash. This, spot clean it, and if it needs to be washed, you can throw it in the washing machine. Cold water, gentle cycle with a mild soap. That's just mainly why I chose this one. This is the infant body support, and you only use this between 5 and 11 pounds, and then you have to take it out. After 11 pounds, you cannot use it anymore. And then there is an additional head support, and that is at your discretion. You can leave it in if you want, or if you think that your child is more comfortable without it, you can take it out. It just simply slides in and is held in place by these little, it's almost like a slap bracelet is what it feels like. Of course it doesn't curl up, but that's how it stays in there. There's little slots that they slide into. The Nuna like I said, is one of the easiest installations for a seatbelt install I've ever done, ever. The other one that I really like that is super simple is the Britax Click Tights. If you want to do latch install and you're within your weight limits, it's absolutely fine. But I will tell you that in order to even get the latch connections out, you have to open up the same compartment for the seatbelt to go through to lock down in place. The Nuna, the lock off is built in just like Click Tights. It's so easy to install, and I will also have an installation portion of this video further on. So let me go ahead and show you the features of this. But in order to get to where you're going to route the seatbelt through, you have to fold all this up. Hopefully this will stay up for me. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. And you can, it's got this little pockets right here for the buckles to go into to stay out of the way. This just snaps right in. So you would unsnap this and pull this up. And right here is the crotch buckle. With the crotch buckle, you want it closest to the child, but they cannot have it under them. So you want to make sure that whatever position, I'm just going to push this down and it'll slide. Whatever position you're going to have this crotch buckle in, it cannot be under the child. So with Paxton, he's 3, and actually I just had to move it to this farther out position because it started to go underneath him. Now, in order to install this with a seatbelt, you are going to get into these compartments. For rear facing, it's the blue side. You just push this and this pops up. And as you can see, the latch system is stored in this compartment. So to even get the latch system out so that you can install it into the car, you have to get into this compartment. So I can tell you that I've never even used this car seat with a latch install, just because the seatbelt install is so easy and quick. It doesn't have a weight limit. The seatbelt does not have a weight limit. So in order to install this in the car with a seatbelt, these cup holders have to be popped out. And so when it's being stored, they will just stick right in there. So you just pop these out. And when they're being used, you can pop, they'll stay up. It's pretty difficult to get them down. But the seatbelt goes right in through here, underneath, and it'll go through underneath where the fabric comes through. And then you're going to feed it through here and out the other side. And once it's installed in the car, so you'll pull and you'll get all the slack out of the seatbelt, and then you will close this compartment down. And closing this compartment down locks the seatbelt in, and you're installed. That's it. Super easy. And once it's installed, you don't have to have these cup holders standing up if you're not going to use them. They can just hang loosely, just like that, and they will not interfere with anything to do with the car seat and how it's installed. So that's up to you if you're going to use the cup holders or if you just want them to just hang down with the seatbelt install. Now, if you're forward facing, then the compartment you're going to use is the red compartment in the back. So you will push the button, pop it open, and then the seatbelt, you can see where it's marked inside. The seatbelt will slide through this spot right here, and it slides right through. You go through the other side, take all of the slack out, and then you will lock it in place by closing the compartment. Now, if you notice, if you're going to do a latch install while forward facing, you would have to get the latch belts out of the rear facing compartment, move them along this little metal thing that would slide through, and then feed them through here. And then when you took it out and you were to store them, you store them back into their rear-facing compartment for the installation. So, me personally, I always do a seatbelt installation with this seat. It's just so super simple, and I don't ever have to worry about how much Paxton weighs at what point, because seatbelts have no weight limits. So for rear facing, you always want your harness straps to be at or below the child's shoulders when they're sitting in the seat. If they are forward facing, the harness straps should be at or above their shoulders. And this is because when there is a collision, the way the child moves within the seat, that position of the harness straps is going to allow for them to move in the most optimum way. So Paxton is 3. He just turned 3 in October. Paxton's still rear face in the seat in my Honda Odyssey. He has no issues whatsoever. He never complains about what's going on with his legs or being uncomfortable. So, the only issue that I have found with this seat is that because this is a one button press in order to undo it, and it doesn't require 2, Paxton learned how to undo his chest clip within a month of us having this seat. So I, as a CPST, have actually emailed Nuna and I asked them if there was any other chest clip that they had that I could interchange this with, or if there's any fix to this per their recommendations for this seat in order to keep him from unbuckling it, and they didn't have anything for me. They said that you can't change the chest clip on it because the harness straps feed through the shell of the seat, and there's no way to access them from the outside. You cannot undo them. You cannot take these harness straps out. They are just in there. So there's no way to get any of this stuff off or undo it. I think that's probably their way of just ensuring that you don't wash the harness straps, because that is a big no-no, and a lot of people do mistakenly wash their harness straps, and then you don't have the same assurances that they're going to work in a collision. The other issue that I have with this seat is that now this is the 3rd shell that I have had for this seat. That is because the first one we encountered this issue. And forgive the dirtiness, I did not wash this because we don't use it anymore. This issue is that after a few months, all of a sudden, the harness was not staying tight. You can pull it out to loosen it. It's not locking in place. So I contacted Nuna. They sent me a new shell, which was this one. And so we took the first one, we cut the harness straps, we destroyed the seat. I believe I recycled it because at that time Target was having their car seat trade-in. We got rid of that one. We had this one. And when we went to Disney, this happened again with this second shell. So I contacted Nuna and they sent me the new shell. Now I don't know what's going on inside of this to say why I keep having this issue. Nuna emailed me after this one and said, see if you can turn it upside down and shake it around and dislodge anything that might be stuck in there that's causing it to not be able to bite down on the harness and keep it pulled tight, and that did nothing. I'm on shell number 3. I don't know if this is going to be a continuing occurrence or what's going on. I would assume that at some point there would have to be a recall and they would have a fix or be replacing seats. Just so you're aware of those two issues. For the chest clip issue with Paxton, unbuckling it, we did the t-shirt method. That worked for a while, and it just got to the point where we just taught him to not unbuckle it. From time to time, he will unbuckle it, and immediately we get him buckled back up. He gets privileges taken away, but he's 3, so you know, it's just a learning process. And even with these issues, I still really love this seat. I would get this seat again for Brixton once he gets to the age where he's outgrown the infant seat. Now, we leave our infant seat in the car most of the time, and so we use the infant bucket seat all the way until they have almost maxed out the limit. So, that being said, just wanted to let you know about that issue so that you know if it's a deal breaker for you. And now we will install the seat, and I will show you just how easy it is, how quick. I will show you the latch install as well, but honestly, the seat belt install, for me at least, is just so much easier and quicker because I don't even have to mess with pulling the latch belts out from the storage compartment that is within the same compartment to install rear facing with the seat belt. Okay, so first step is you're going to unsnap the corners of the seat cover, and you're going to fold it up so that you can get to where you install the seat belt. Open the compartment. You're going to put the seat belt. Now, because this has an auto lock off, you do not need to lock the seat unless your child is going to pull this and play with this and possibly put it around their neck. Then obviously you're going to want to lock it to make sure that doesn't happen. You want to make sure when you are installing any seatbelt that the seatbelt is flat and not twisted. Every twist that is in the seatbelt will weaken the seatbelt in a car crash. So we want the seatbelt to be as strong as possible. You're going to feed it through the belt path and buckle it. And then you're just going to want to pull all the slack out, making sure the seatbelt stays flat and doesn't twist. And then just like any other car seat installation, you're going to push down on the seat and just make sure you get all the slack out of the seatbelt, and then you're just going to close this down. And it'll click when it's locked in place. Put your seat back in, and as you can see, you're going to test the seat at the belt path. We have absolutely no movement. This is the easiest seatbelt install seat other than the click tights that I've ever found. I love this seat. Now, to do this with the forward facing position, you're going to want to make sure that your recline is in the forward facing window. And then you're just going to open the forward facing belt path compartment. Do the same thing. Feed it through the belt path. Belt's not twisted. Pull all the slack out. Again, you're going to push down in the seat so you can get any slack that might happen once the child's weight is in it. Close the compartment. And now you've got your seat installed. Again, test at the belt path, 0 movement. Now I'll show you the latch install. Alright, in order to get the latch belts out, you're going to have to open up the storage where they're stored, which is the rear facing belt path compartment. And you're going to feed them through the belt path. Connect them to the lower anchors. Make sure they are not twisted. Get all your slack out of it. Then you're going to push down in the seat just like any other car seat install. Belt path, and that is the rear facing latch installation. Now I will show you forward facing latch. Put this back into proper recline for forward facing. Now you're going to open both compartments so that you can move the latch belt facing compartment into the forward facing compartment. You're just going to slide this along this metal bar here. Making sure it doesn't twist. Then you're going to feed this through the forward facing belt path. Line it up along that red sticker. Connect it to the lower anchors. You're going to make sure you get all of that slack out. Put some weight in there. Close your compartment. And now you have your forward-facing latch install. Whenever you are forward-facing, you always want to make sure you do not forget the tether anchor. So and for this, you just need to make sure that it doesn't have any slack. It doesn't have to be super duper tight. Another thing that I want to make sure to point out is that when I reference the weight limits for the latch with this seat, that is the limits of just the child's weight for this seat. That's what the manual says. It is 35 pounds when rear facing and 40 pounds when forward facing. However, you need to know that most vehicles have a 65 pound latch limit that is combined weight of the child and the child restraint. Now, this Nuna Rava is 27.2 pounds, which means really I only have up until 37.8 pounds of the child's weight to be able to use the latch system. So I would only be able to use the latch system forward facing up to about 37 pounds. Once you hit that 37-pound mark, you're going to want to use a seatbelt installation. Unless your vehicle gives a higher limit, I have yet to come across a vehicle with a higher latch limit than 65 pounds. And there are vehicles that have a lower latch weight limit for the vehicle. So just make sure, if you can't find it in your vehicle's owner's manual, check with the CPST. They can look it up for you in their latch manual. So if you have any questions, please comment below.